My name is Maria, and I am studying law at university. I'm in my 4th year, and the pressure is stronger than ever. I spend most of my time in the classroom, but I also work part-time at a law office to help pay for my tuition. Every day feels like I am running out of time, and I can never seem to do enough. Every semester, it feels like the expectations grow, and sometimes, I wonder if I will be able to keep up. Right now, I am sitting in the library, looking at the pile of books and notes in front of me. I need to study for my constitutional law exam, which is tomorrow. The thought of it makes my stomach tighten. I know I need to do well in this exam because my grades are everything to me. But what if I fail? What if my professor doesn't think I am good enough? These thoughts keep coming back, again and again. The pressure to be perfect is overwhelming, and sometimes, I wonder if it will ever stop. I have been awake for hours, trying to study, but my mind keeps wandering. I look around the library, and everyone seems so focused. They look calm and in control, and I feel like I am the only one who is struggling. Why do I feel like this? Why can't I just focus and get through this? My phone buzzes in my bag, pulling me out of my thoughts. It's a message from my mom asking how I am doing. I quickly type a reply, telling her I'm fine, but I know I am lying. I am far from fine. The pressure to succeed, to be perfect, is too much. I don't know how long I can keep going like this, but I have no choice. I need to pass this exam. I need to make my family proud. I just wish I could stop feeling so overwhelmed. It's now late at night, and the library is almost empty. Only a few people are still here, typing away on their laptops or reading. I close my book and look at the clock. It's 2 a.m. I am so tired, but I know I can't stop yet. The exam is tomorrow, and I have so much left to study. I tell myself I can take a break later, but I don't know when that will be. Every time I try to relax, my thoughts go back to the exam and what will happen if I don't do well. I get up and walk to the vending machine to buy some coffee. The machine beeps as it gives me a can, but I can't help thinking how bad this is for me. I should be sleeping, but there's no time for that. Not now. I sit back down and take a sip, trying to stay awake, but it doesn't help much. The pressure is still there, heavy in my chest. I try to focus on the notes in front of me, but my mind keeps drifting. I think about my job at the law office. It's not easy working while studying, but I have no choice. I have to pay for everything. I think about the office, my boss, and the cases we're working on. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want to disappoint myself. Suddenly, my phone rings. It's a message from my friend, Sophia. She asks if I want to go for coffee tomorrow before the exam. I hesitate. I want to say yes, but I know I need to study. I feel guilty, but I reply, telling her I'll think about it. I don't want to let her down, but I also know that I can't take any more breaks right now. I need to be perfect. I need to get it all right. The pressure to do everything, to be everything, is starting to feel like too much. The next day, I walk into class feeling exhausted. My eyes are tired, and my head is heavy, but I try to focus. I sit in my seat and open my notebook, hoping to absorb just a little more before the exam starts. My professor walks in and starts talking about the key points we need to remember for the test. I try to listen, but all I can think about is how much I still have to learn. I keep looking at the clock, counting the minutes until the exam begins. When the professor finally announces it's time, I feel my heart race. I try to breathe deeply to calm myself, but the nervousness is strong. I know I've studied hard, but I still feel unprepared. The pressure to do well is almost too much to handle. I tell myself that I have to give my best, but in the back of my mind, I worry about failing. When the exam papers are handed out, I look at the questions and freeze. They seem harder than I expected. I try to read the first question again, but I don't understand it at first. My hands are shaking as I start to write my answer. Every word feels like a struggle. I want to be perfect, but I can't find the right answers. My thoughts are all over the place. I try to stay calm, but the pressure keeps growing. As the exam goes on, I can't shake the feeling that I'm not doing enough. I look around and see other students writing confidently, while I am still stuck on the first few questions. I wonder if they feel the same pressure I do. I wonder if they are also struggling with the fear of not being good enough. I wish I could stop feeling like this, but the pressure never leaves. I just have to finish. I have to keep going. When the exam finally ends, I feel a strange mix of relief and anxiety. I leave the classroom and step into the hallway, my hands still shaking. I try to focus, but all I can think about is how I could have done better. Did I answer the questions correctly? What if I missed something important? The pressure of wanting to do well follows me out of the exam room and into the next part of my day. I walk to the cafeteria, hoping to get something to eat. As I stand in line, I see Sophia sitting at a table by the window. She waves at me, and I wave back, but I don't feel like smiling. I feel like my mind is still stuck in the exam, still thinking about what I could have done differently. She notices my expression and calls me over. I sit down across from her, and she immediately asks how the exam went. I take a deep breath before answering. I think I did okay, I say, trying to sound confident, but my voice is shaky. Sophia looks at me with concern, but I quickly change the subject. I don't want to talk about the exam anymore. I just want to forget it for a moment. How have you been? I ask, trying to steer the conversation somewhere else. Sophia smiles and starts talking about her day, her internship, and everything else that's going on in her life. As she talks, I can't help but think about how different her life seems from mine. She's always calm, always in control. I envy her in a way. As the conversation goes on, I feel my shoulders slowly relax. Sophia's words are comforting, and for the first time today, I start to feel like maybe I don't need to be perfect. Maybe it's okay to make mistakes. Maybe I can still be good enough without the pressure of perfection hanging over me. It's a small thought, but it feels like a breakthrough. As I walk out of the cafeteria, I feel lighter. The weight I've been carrying around for so long seems a little less heavy. Maybe it's not about being perfect. Maybe it's about trying my best and accepting that I don't have to get everything right. I still feel a bit nervous about the exam results, but for the first time in a while, I feel like I can breathe. Later that evening, I sit down with my books again, but this time, I don't feel the same pressure. I remind myself that it's okay to take breaks. I focus on one thing at a time, and I don't try to do everything at once. It feels strange, but in a good way. I feel like I'm finally learning that I don't need to be perfect to succeed. The next day, I get my exam results. I take a deep breath before I open the email. I'm nervous, but I remind myself that whatever happens, I've done my best. When I see my grade, I smile. I did better than I expected. It's not perfect, but it's enough. I take a moment to think about how much I've learned. It's not just about the exams or the grades. It's about finding balance, accepting that I can't do everything, and learning to be kind to myself. I feel proud of what I've accomplished, even if it's not perfect. I know I still have a long way to go, but I'm not afraid of the pressure anymore. Now, I want to encourage you to do the same. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you're not good enough, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take a break. You don't have to be perfect. Try your best, and know that you are enough. Take a moment to reflect on your own journey and what you've learned so far. What have you accomplished, even if it wasn't perfect? Share your thoughts with me in the comments, and let's keep supporting each other on this journey.